perfect.
All right, I'm Joe Asiala. I'm founding the Blue Water Angel Investment Group, located in Midland, Michigan, and also on board of directors for the Mid-Michigan Innovation Center and an entrepreneur myself.
Excellent. Sound effect. Emmett. Someone's breathing into their, breathing their nose into their, there we go. Emmett?
He's muted too, perhaps.
Okay, is it possible, Emmett, that you are, let's see, that you are muted in conference room A? You need to unmute yourself. Okay, moving on while we work on that. Moving on. Who we got left? Mark.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. My name is Mark Nehampton. I've been involved with startups for about 5 years. In 1982, I founded the world's first venture capital association, the Northern California Venture Capital Association, which we did this type of meetings, work meetings for 17 years with attendance from about every major VC and minor VC during those years. I've been involved probably in 50 or 100 startups myself, involved in financing or working on the initial startup teams.
Holy cow, Mark. Well, later on I want to talk to you about...
We need a sound effect.
Oh, a sound effect. Thank you. We're going to talk about stuff later on. I'm really glad that you guys are all here, insofar as you are. And now, let's see if we can bring Ted up. And
round two, Ted.
And let's see. Oh, I don't have my timer in front of me, but we'll take care of that in a minute. Is someone else on timing?
Okay, I am putting it on timer here. Is that good? I'm going to go get my own timer.
Oh, go get your timer. Oh, here, I got a timer.
Okay.
Oh, crud. All right. If you could get me, yeah, she's got to get her timer, and we'll take care of this. La la la. Sorry, Ted. You ready? You got time? 2 minutes? Okay, here we go. We'll start the timer when you start talking, Ted.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. My name is Ted Larson, and I'm with Ologic, and we're revolutionizing consumer using smartphones. And we have built a variety of platforms that utilize smartphones as the brains, and they're designed for targeting consumer markets. Ologic started out as a research and development company with a focus on robotics for toy companies. Some of our existing customers include Hasbro, Google, and Uncle Milton Industries. The most successful toy we've ever designed to date is a product called the Star Wars Horse Trainer. It's a device where you wear a headset, and it reads your brainwaves, and you're able to levitate a ball in a tower while it talks to you and tries to teach you how to get better Jedi.
I don't believe so. No. I see that.
One of our products. It's a dock you snap your smartphone to, and it turns it into an autonomous character.
The problem is if you turn them both on, it breaks.
Autonomous capabilities.
That's
our current plan is to raise $2 million in a Series A and generate revenue from selling these products to big box retail.
The judges cited an
We have a variety of products in the pipeline beyond this product. This product right now is called the Agora Smartphone Dock, and we're running a Kickstarter for it on Kickstarter for the moment. And then this product up here, this guy behind my head, he's the world's first two-wheeled self-balancing player. He plays music, whether you're singing the music to him from your smartphone, well, he follows you around. And our plan is to move these products through retail. We figure that we can double our revenue every year with only 2 products on the shelf at any given moment in time.
10 seconds.
Well, we're going to give you 20 more seconds.
You got 20 more seconds.
I do? Oh, awesome. Okay. So if you look at this interesting smartphone character, you can tickle him up, you can poke him in the eye and make him mad. He's tickling. He's a little ticklish here. I don't know why he's misbehaving. But he can get up and drive around. It's like making your mobile phone truly mobile. We call it the mobile. He kind of drives around, and you can build all kinds of interesting autonomous.
Okay, we'll cut you off there.
Thank you, Ted.
Thank you, Ted. Hey, I want to apologize. I want to apologize for the interruptions. I want to make sure that back in the control room, they know that when they talk over the pitches. So we got to make sure that those mics are mute when we're doing our technology. But hopefully, you made good use of that extra 20 seconds, Ted. Eve, you want to go ahead and run Ted through the mill one more time?
Ted, how far is that 2 million going to take you?
It gives us at least 24 months of runway, and it really depends on if we attempt to do just the 2 products that we have in the pipeline or more. We'd rather have more than less, so that's
Okay,
what does your margin look like?
Typical toy margins is what we shoot for. So we keep 50% for ourselves, and we offer 50% to the retailer. It pretty much is a 4x multiple from X factory cost to retail shelf price. So it's really good margin.
Okay, thank you. And Mark, can we hear from you?
Yes, unfortunately, I couldn't hear about half the pitch because of the overspeak of the technical crew. I kind of missed the first half of it, and I really had a little loss here because I couldn't really hear what the product was.
Is there maybe you could focus a question at him that might help give him an opportunity to reiterate what you might have missed?
Yes. In about 20 seconds or less, what is your first product?
Our first product is this. It's the AgoraStartupIdol smartphone dock. It's a dock that you snap your smartphone into, and it turns your iPhone or Android phone into an autonomous with mobility. So imagine all of these autonomous character apps that are on the internet that people play with. Imagine offering the ability to offer mobility to those apps.
So do you look at it as a
product for? Go ahead.
Oh, do you look at the product as a platform or as an individual app?
No, it's a platform. So it's a platform upon which many apps can be built and offer mobility to those apps. So it's definitely a platform on play.
Okay, thank you.
Does that clear it up, Mark, or would you like one more question?
Right now I'll just listen to the others until I catch up a little. Thank you.
All right, and Joe, are you available?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Like the app. What are your current sales? And I apologize if I missed some of it. I couldn't hear some of the audio as well.
So for the last few years, we've been generating revenue doing outsourced R&D for toy companies and consumer electronic companies. We haven't ever shipped products under our own brand, and we basically made a recent decision to take some of the products that didn't make it to the shelf under some of our other customer brands and get the rights to those products back and take them to market under our own brand. So we have an existing R&D business that's ongoing that basically fills our pipeline with intellectual property and all kinds of interesting new concepts we could potentially bring to market. And from those operations, we make between 100 and 500K a year. And we have a really small team. It's just 3 of us. So we have no revenue from these new products that we're going to do because again they're not completed and on the shelf. And that's the reason why we're running a Kickstarter for this project.
I don't know how much time I have, so I'm kind of interrupting you here, but
Give him a little extra, so go ahead.
okay. Do you have? So, are you planning to focus on this business exclusively and drop the R&D? And also, do you have any strategic partnerships that you're developing or in place?
So, for now, I think we're going to keep some of the R&D business because again, it allows us to continually refill our pipeline of property and cast-offs. In a lot of cases, 19 out of 20 products we design on the R&D side, they never make it to market because that's just the nature of business. And many of those cast-offs are still pretty good ideas that can come to market in the future.
Okay.
As far as strategic partners go.
Yep.
Okay,
Go ahead. Okay.
Go ahead.
So my understanding correctly, you're planning on distributing these toys via traditional retail outlets, or are you planning on sort of selling them online?
Both. So there'll be an e-retail component and then a big box channel sales component. One of our advisory board members is a guy from he's a channel retail marketing consultant who is used by Hasbro and Mattel and Wowie to do product placements at places like Walmart and Target. We also have another person that we'd like to hire as soon as we get financed, who currently works for a tablet manufacturer that has retail product placements in 36,000 retail outlets, and he runs the channel sales team for that group. So we don't believe we're going to have any problem penetrating the market. It's just going to be an issue of having the capital to tool the products and keep up with
And I guess my follow-up question is, how do you plan to do the manufacturing that goes along with trying to distribute into a big box retailer?
So, again, we've spent the last 5 years designing toys and products for toy companies. So we have a fantastic Chinese factory partner that we partnered with on these products, and they currently are the manufacturer of such products as the iRobot with that vacuum and the dinosaur. So they know how to make product in large volume. They have 40,000 employees and 6 factories in China.
Okay, thank you, Ted. And scoring time has arrived.
Scoring time has arrived. Thank you.
Yes.
And let's start with Heidi for a little bit of a score from 0 to 5.
And feedback.
And feedback. Go.
Okay. I think you pretty much hit it all in this pitch. You've got the history, the background. You've got a great team. You've got a history of a successful product. You've got, really products. You've got for that amount of money to go 2-year runway, seems pretty reasonable. I am going to give you a 4.8 today.
Okay.
Cool, thank you.
Gotcha.
Mark, over to you.
Okay, I'm working from a little disadvantage. However, from what I did here, my major concern, which you did address, was your manufacturing partners. But I do have a question why they themselves would not invest, because it would be to their interest. The Chinese obviously have the dollars today. But from everything else I heard, I'd probably go about a 4.5.
4.5.
Joe?
Awesome product. I really like your technology, like the idea. I think you have a great potential. I didn't quite understand the business model, whether you're going to be the R&D and technology, and exactly how you're going to commercialize and actually grow your business. So, but tremendous potential. I will give it a 4.4.
4.4. And finally, Emmett.
So I totally buy the basic business model. It's the same as anyone who makes a toy and wants to sell it. That makes sense to me. It seems like you guys have a lot of the relevant experience. Seems like you're going to be able to make that toy and distribute it. My only worry is on the demand side. I mean, it seems cool, but I have absolutely no idea how many people actually want to buy a cart to put their smartphone on. It could be cool. I could see that being huge. I could see it being a big thing, but it also could be a total flop, and I can't really decide. Granted, you didn't know enough time to tell me. So I would say, I'd give it probably a 4.5. That seems about right to me.
I love it. I think, Ted, that it's probably, you probably realize this, it's a great sign when someone says it sounds like it's really great, but it could be a flop, but it could be incredible. I mean, that means it's just a little bit new and it could really be amazing. All right. Well, thank you so much. We do love you, Ted. Please come back again.
Thank you.
For the final 4.
Back for the next round.
Lineup,
All right.
I believe.
So who we got next?
Thanks, Ted.
Should we just go ahead and, I don't have instructions for the order, but let's go ahead and unmute Ken. And if nobody objects, Ken, are you available?
I'm available. Andrew and George, did you get my email about switching presentations, or is that not good?
Oh, I did not get a chance to go over it, Ken. I'm really sorry. I understand that the issue is clarity between the two different presentations. And if you'd like to take an extra minute to spell that out for the judges, I don't mind that.
All right. Should I present the salescontest.com at this hour or Crowd Salesforce? I'm short on time later in the afternoon.
Okay. It's up to you.
Okay, thanks.
And I think that I'll just go ahead and speak for you, Ken, that we want to be very clear to the judges and the audience that Ken has two very different companies, and he wishes to make it clear which are the one which he's spending his most attention on, that is his full-time job, and which one is the hopeful thing that he may move into at some other point. Ken, can you clarify that? Take an extra second or two.
Sure, and thank you. I own a company called thesalescontest.com, and what we do is we bring probably the most critical thing that every business needs, and that's sales. And we do this in a very unique format. The other company, the other startup, is crowdsalesforce.com. And that simply is an online technology that would allow thousands of companies to get sales from thousands of salespeople around the world in a different type of format. But that is in its infancy.
Okay, Ken, let me put you on hold a second. Judges, who wants to? Do you want to hear the sales contest, or do you want to hear Crowd Salesforce?
I'm more interested in the more speculative one, but I would be happy with either one.
Well, I think you get an advantage by doing the one that we're excited about. Go for the more speculative one.
Yeah.
Go ahead, and I'll start your timer now.
Okay. My core business is the sales contest, which is where I derive my revenue making money for companies through sales. But the speculative one is we get such an interest of companies that want sales. We're developing an online technology so that a company in Australia that wants these speakers sold, or a company that wants these cell phone reminders sold, it's a matchmaking system where there'd be 1,000 salespeople in a database and 1,000 plus companies that need sales revenue. And they type in their profiles, and both the computers will match them up and find them people that want to sell their product in a given city, demographic, or market. Every company needs sales. There's many sales and marketing professionals that on a part or full-time level would like the income, and their background and their contacts gives them the least path of resistance than a small startup company or a business trying to start from scratch, hiring a full-time large sales force. So it's kind of the Match.com or eBay of matching up small companies, startups, and businesses that want sales with this independent sales force. My background is 25 years of recruiting salespeople for Fortune 500 and small companies the last 25 years. And that is salesforce.com, crowdsalesforce.com.
Thanks very much. Let's go ahead and start with Mark this time.
Yes, thank you. Have you identified any existing competition, or would you think the closest type of competition?
Yes. If this is crowd selling, there is crowdsourcing. So you have Elance, where you might find yourself a sales rep, but it's not a website dedicated to sales professionals and sales outsourcing.
Okay, that's the only one that you've identified?
No, there's a few other small ones. But our business has developed because we have an overflow of clients that are looking for sales on a pay-for-performance basis.
Is there any IP? Is there any IP related to this?
Let's go on to Joe at this point, Mark.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Great concept. I agree. Every company needs sales. That's one of the best source of income. But I have two questions. First of all, how do you generate revenue in your model?
We would generate revenue from a combination of a small subscription price that would have access to the database, and then a percent of sales revenue. And then we manage the revenue that comes in, paying out to make sure that the sales force is promptly compensated.
Okay, the second question is, how do you keep misrepresentation from occurring? In other words, there could be deliberate sabotage, there could be poorly trained representatives that actually could ruin the reputation of a company.
I lost part of the audio, the first part of the question.
I was wondering how you keep misrepresentation from occurring. In other words, you have this match, and you know, one of the things companies do, the ones I've been involved in, you build brands and reputation and things like that. If you have someone who's misrepresents you or commits fraud and things like that, how do you prevent that from occurring on a crowdsource basis?
Our ideas on that are two. One is that we phone screen the people, but people can lie, people can be deceptive. So really the second thing is similar to eBay and Match.com, may only be able to manage it after the fact and have people sign policies that they agree that they're not going to misrepresent. But that is a risk whenever you hire an independent contractor.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Moving on, I guess we got Emmett next.
Yeah, how is this different from, you know, sort of affiliate programs and other sort of, you know, effectively outsourced sales programs people offer?
The difference is it's using a web technology where companies can fill out a profile and they can get all these different sales reps contacting them through us, and vice versa. They can contact the sales rep. So it's using a matching technology. To my knowledge right now, as we're developing the technology, I'm not quite sure there's anything like it, but we have no IP on it yet.
Cool.
And how does the matchmaking part of it work?
The companies and Salesforce and the crowd Salesforce each types in a profile, and then the computer matches up through keywords, but they can also search each other's database.
Okay, so like keyword matching.
That's one of the ways, yes.
It sounds like Mark got his question answered too. Eve, go ahead.
Have you done any market validation with salespeople? I can see where companies would like this, but for salespeople, it seems a little bit less stable than just getting a really good sales job, especially if they're really good. Have you checked with a bunch of salespeople to get their feedback on participating in something like this?
Yeah, I have. Eve, you're familiar with my core business, and we get hundreds and hundreds of people who, on a part or full-time basis, want to make money. And if they've got a background selling applications or apps or enterprise systems, they're always looking for hot new solutions and products that they can use their contacts and their skill sets.
Okay, great. And I do believe it is time for feedback and scoring. Let's go to Joe. Can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear him.
Hello. Can you hear me, Joe? That's Dr. Seuss.
Yes.
Yeah, baby.
Yes.
What? Hang on, Joe. No, you need to unmute the one that's in conference room A.
Okay, can you hear me now? How's that? Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I think it's great. It's one of those things, concepts I think could go, has potential to go viral just because the amount of commerce going on in the world today. And the business model to me, once again, is not clear on how you would capture revenue from sales. and things of that nature, understand eBay and so forth. So I think that needs a little bit more work. I'll give it a 4.2.
Okay, we got a 4.2,
4.2.
and on to Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you. I've actually owned a number of distribution and rep companies and started a number of them. The concept's great from the point of view of need, but my concern is implementation, because the contractual end of working with reps is not so easy. You get into many harried issues, which I can't get into now. So until I know how those worked out, I would stick with about a 3.8.
3.8. And let's hear from Emmett.
Yeah, I think fundamentally the idea of making a more liquid market in sales is it's a good fundamental idea. I just also have questions about implementation. It's clear if you could succeed, you produce a lot of value, but actually creating any kind of automated matching that makes any sense, dealing with contractual issues, dealing with misrepresentation, those all seem like they're going to be really hard to compete with. I mean, I'd say your biggest competition here is not Elance, but it's hiring a salesperson, and this how much easier that would be. So, yeah, I give it a 3.0. 3.0,
and let's finish up with Eve.
I like the idea of it. I think that there's potential there if you can get some of the other issues worked out. I agree that your biggest competition is going to be hiring somebody, I think, for both the salesperson and for the company. I don't know if they're going to want to give up a percent of sales to you plus commissions to the salesperson. But if you can get it worked out and get some adoption, I think there's some potential there. I'm going to give it a 4.3.
4.8. Thank you so much, judges, and thank you, Ken.
Thanks, Ken. It sounds like your biggest problem is that you've invented the car and people are worried that the horse is going to be a lot of competition for you.
Excellent feedback.
And it's time to move on to
Hatham
with Mashup.
Yeah, baby.
I just have one quick question. Should I turn my video on one of these browsers?
Let's see, who's doing that?
See you.
You can see me.
Yes.
I don't see myself, so this is Joe. Yeah.
Joe? Joe, you need to turn your video on the judges browser.
The judges browser. So this one?
That's right. Now we see you.
All right.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
Let's see. Do I see Hatham? Yes, I see Hatham. Hatham, old buddy. Mashup man.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm gonna run your presentation timer in my window. Can you see the window if I hold this up to you? We're doing new technology. Can you see the number?
I don't see anything, bud.
Okay, forget about it then. I'll let you know when 15 seconds is left.
On your mark, get set.
No, wait.
No?
Okay.
Hit it.
Cindy, let's go.
Hit it. I want to hear from him.
Hey,
Mash it up.
my name is Hatham Khalil, CEO of Mashup Media Inc., parent company of Mashup.com. We're building Mashup.com using cloud and curation technology to build the ultimate online experience. Music's all about memories and moments. And this weekend I was at Coachella, and I really experienced one of those moments. I was sitting next to a 45-year-old gentleman who was actually crying when he saw his three favorite performers up on stage, together, performing. One of them was dead. Tupac, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg were all forming together. That's going to be one of those musical memories and moments that's going to stick with me forever. Mashup is a great tool for people who take pride in owning and collecting music. Essentially, Mashup encourages its users to take ownership of music. Mashup allows a user to use the cloud technology to access their music anywhere, anytime, on any mobile device, iPhone, iPad, Android, Windows, BlackBerry, Google TV. And what Mashup's curation does is allow a user to build a life soundtrack. This is the part of taking ownership, where they can tell their life story through their album cover collection, through pictures of concerts they've been to, anything that they love about music that they want to share with friends, family, and even Facebook friends. Mashup's going to allow them to do that. Currently, we have 30,000 users. Our goal is to hit 100,000 users in the next month. We're looking for $1 million to help with marketing and future development.
15 seconds, Hatham.
And also this summer, we'll be introducing an MP3 download store that's going to actually help with the whole music, or the ownership of music. So if a user likes a song, they can go and find it on their friend's wall and buy it from the Mashup store.
Beautiful, beautiful. I want to hear from Eve. Go ahead.
How are you going to make money?
Currently, we're on a free subscription, 2 gigabytes free of storage for our cloud, or unlimited streaming, unlimited storage for $2.99 a month. Also, with our MP3 download store, we'll be running at a 22% margin off of a catalog of about 17 million songs.
Have you done the market validation to make sure people are willing to pay?
You know what? I think I really do, and what really reinforced our business was being at Coachella weekend, and seeing the number of people who have a true love for music and their own music, not a search engine that's built by Spotify, or a search engine that's driven by an automated algorithm. With Mashup, you're getting all your music recommendations from friends, family, and people you trust.
Okay, great. Can we hear from Emmett?
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I still don't really understand what it actually does. You're like Amazon Cloud Storage, but only for music, kind of? Or like Dropbox, kind of? But only for music?
Yeah, what we did is we took the cloud technology, and we are using cloud and curation.
But what does it actually do? That's what I don't understand.
We're a cloud music service that offers access on any cross-platform device, rather than Amazon that's only on Android, or iTunes Cloud that's only on Apple devices. We're cross-platform. Also, we're niche specifically for music lovers.
Okay, and on to Joe.
Okay, I have 2 questions. One, are there any issues, and I don't understand why this doesn't already exist. Sounds like a great idea, but are there copyright laws or royalty laws and things like that that are going to prohibit you from sharing this across all the different platforms and across multiple users?
Well, no. I mean, in the music industry, what you're paying royalties on is the music license. As long as user is providing their own digital library, or they're purchasing a specific track from us, that's where the license is into play. We have the licenses in place for the users to be able to stream their music on every device. And by June, we'll have the music library in place where people can buy music from us. It's a better business. Go ahead.
You answered that question. The other question was the 22% margin. That seems like a thin margin. And is that is that your net income, or what's your margin based on?
Well, the margin that's a competitive price to price ourselves competitively to be able to compete with the iTunes or Amazon. So let's say, for instance, if we're going to price our song for 99 cents, we'll be drawing about 24 cents per song. If we price it more, of course, our margin will go higher. But again, we're all about building a user base. We want to hit a site with 20 million users in the next 2 years, and it's going to be a site where all people who love music can come in and build their lifestyle track and share that with each other.
Okay, and questions from Mark, our own venture capital specialist.
received a lot of the answers from the answered already with the other gentleman and lady, but I'm still concerned on that this is almost like a peer-to-peer, which we all know what happened to those legal issues, because even though you're saying they're using their own libraries, this is where the peer-to-peer issues came in, and I'm not sure you're going to be avoiding that. Even if you think you are, the lawsuits that come out of the big guys can be very onerous. That's one of my issues, and also the migration of a Facebook or an Amazon into this field is quite easy for them to do. So I don't see any type of IP protection.
With your first question, Mashup doesn't allow one of your friends to download your music. What it allows you to do, Mark, let me just explain it this way. You know, the early 80s, 90s, any house you went into had that tape tower. 90s and 2000s, any house you went into had that CD tower. The first thing you would do is shuffle through that CD tower to see what's in there. What Mashup is doing is allowing you to build your profile where you can display the thousands of songs that are already in your music library for your friends to find and then make a purchase from our Mashup store.
Okay, we're done with the questions.
That was a good example.
That's
of what
good.
It is. Perfect.
I am loving how you've integrated the previous feedback into your answers and into your pitch.
Well done.
It's very flattering, and I think it's working well. Feedback. Begin with Eve.
I'm still not sold. I feel like it's a solution without a problem, but I felt like my market validation question wasn't really answered. Going to Coachella is not doing market validation. I'd want to like actually to customers and see what they're willing to pay and get the feel from them that they're willing to buy your thing. So with some market testing, perhaps, I still think this is an incredibly crowded space. You're gonna have a lot of competition. It's gonna be tough. I do wish you the best of luck. I'm going to give you a 3.8.
3.8, and on to Mark.
Same as I believe Eve provided, was that both from a legal, from an acquisition, you have 30,000 customers, you have, I think, 20 million. I'm not sure I even heard how you attempt to do that. Market is very, very crowded. I don't see a huge amount of differentiation that you can maintain. You may have it out the door, but I'm not sure you can maintain it. I would give you about a 3.5.
3.5. And on to Joe.
All right, I like the concept. I think there's a lot of unanswered questions, obviously, as there are in this stage of any startup. I do have some concerns as well around the competition, and I'm going to give it 3.6.
3.6, and finally Emmett.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen several startups like this sort of come and go, and I find it really hard to believe that. I couldn't really understand the product at first. I actually went to your website, mashup.com, and logged in and made an account. I think I understand a little better what it does now, but I just don't. I mean, I've personally tried using these startups before, and I really, as a user, just believe that RDO and Spotify are a better solution than what this is. Right? Get all the music, not just a small percentage of it, and it's available on all my devices. So, yeah, I'm gonna give you guys a 2.0. 2.0.
All right.
Okay, that means that we're going to have to say bye-bye, hate them.
See you.
And
Okay, thanks.
we appreciate you coming on. You know what? I'm getting to really like everybody who's on this thing.
Yeah.
It feels like being in a summer camp with your best buddies, and I hate to see anyone get eliminated from the 16, but that's what we have to do.
I like what Emmett did, and I'm going to go do
You'll
that.
see me again.
I'm going to go to his website and sign up for it. Why not?
Oh, yeah, sign up for it, people.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, stay in the community, Hatham. We've got plenty more to offer, and you've got a lot to offer us.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's take care. Well, let's move on now to Dan.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
English.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Hey, excellent.
Now, you tell me when you're ready to begin your pitch.
And thanks for waiting.
Thanks for having me again, and I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay. Anytime.
Hi guys. There are 117 million households in America, and 76% of these homes have someone inside who either uses or plays video games. Many of these homes, you're going to find an abundance of used games, and DVDs are just no longer played. They sit in entertainment centers or basement shelves until they're sold at a yard sale, or they're traded with a friend, or most frequently exchanged at a local GameStop or local retailer for a minute amount of in-store credit. Now, retail giant GameStop has actually sold over $2 billion worth of used games last year alone. Other big box retailers have noticed, and they've started buyback programs of their own. The secret to success in selling a used product is simple. It's buy low and it's sell high, but this practice takes advantage of a consumer who spent quite a bit of money on this merchandise when it was new. The solution to the pain that a consumer experiences when trying to sell back this used merchandise has been created, and that solution is my company, GameTut.com. Sorry, GameTut.com. Yeah, cardinal sin there. GameTut is an online community that offers our members the ability to trade their used games to other members in exchange for our form of virtual currency. Members can then use the virtual currency to purchase any list item on the site. Our site is free. It's easy to sign up. It's free to use. We make money in a very unique way by deducting a small amount of virtual currency from both sides of the trading transaction every time a trade is conducted. If a member runs short and they need additional currency, it's no problem. They can purchase additional currency through our site at any time. Our site's taken about 2 years to build and has overcome a ton of technical hurdles. We're currently in a beta test period right now with a group of about 200 individuals. My name's Dan English. I'm a former retail manager at GameStop, actually. That's how I know so much about their business model. I have 20 years experience in retail and entertainment industry. I've surrounded myself with a skilled team of advisors and startup consultants. I'm currently in the last few weeks of the Kaufman Cash Track program for technology-based companies. We are asking for a $120,000 angel investment in exchange for 40% equity stake in GameTut, and this investment is going to be used and created programming modules and branch out. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
All right,
Beautiful.
thank you.
All right. Well, it's great to hear it again, and you're allowed to. I think you're allowed to call your girlfriend by the wrong name once, and you're allowed to use your competition's name as your name once.
Name recognition is a good thing. So if people want to confuse us with GameStop, it's a $10 billion company. That's fine with me.
Okay, and you got slack here. You can take a mulligan. All right. Let's start with Emmett this time. What do you think, Emmett? What questions have you got?
Yeah, so my background's really linked to this because I run Twitch TV. I'm the CEO, and Twitch TV is a large gaming site. And I'm really intimately involved in this world. And I have to say, this sounds like a fantastic idea for about 7 years ago. The problem is where we see the industry going at Twitch TV, and as we talk to all the gaming companies, is we are talking the end of the world.
Oh my God, Emmett, I got to steer you toward a question here.
So how are you going to deal with free-to-play games? And how are you going to deal with games like DLC and World of Warcraft and all the games that don't work well as used games?
Sure. Well, I mean, I've got some industry statistics that are really interesting. Just even last year, over 70% of all the games that were sold were hard copies of games. So you're absolutely right.
Oops. Do we still have everyone else?
Yep.
I can't hear him talking. If he is.
We lost Dan right at. You're absolutely right. Hopefully we'll get him back in a second.
I don't know. My pocketbook is constantly being emptied by my sons buying those used games. So.
Yeah, I have a 12 and 15-year-old, and that's all I deal with is used games at GameStop.
Used games, huh? So this sounds great to me. They can take care of it themselves.
Emmett, share a little bit of your wisdom while we're waiting for him to come back on.
Oh, I don't know what happened.
Okay, but you're back. You said you're absolutely right, but...
Oh, Okay. Can I so basically answer the question again?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. So there's a large percentage of actually over 70% of the video game sales last year came from hard copies of merchandise, the games that were bought at Walmart and Kmart and GameStop and everything else. So you're right, downloadable content is I mean, it's catching on, and it's building this pie, and consumer casual gaming is going to become a very big thing. But right now, there's you know, I had a great answer, and it's a shame that it cut out. But anyway, we see about 8 to 10 years worth of life still left in this market. The reason being is you've got the Wii U that's coming out this year. You've got the brand new PlayStation console. You've got the brand new Xbox console that's coming out. All of these units, yes, you can purchase additional content online, but at the same time, their sales are going to be driven by hard copies of physical merchandise that you can go down and pick up at Walmart and Kmart and GameStop.
Eve, kick in.
I also, in addition to the competition from downloadables, there's Netflix or other services where I can just go ahead and rent whatever I want for any period of time. Or people can just sort of trade them on their own. So I think there's more competition. Oh, sorry, question. How do you set yourself apart above those solutions?
Sure. Well, we are specifically trying to attract there's two different types of gamers. There's a casual gamer and a hardcore gamer. A casual gamer is going to be the type of person that downloads Angry Birds on their cell phone, or they want to rent a game for a day or two. The hardcore gamer, or the avid gamer, who is really a huge part of the gaming population, is not going to want to do that for the most part. They're going to want to purchase a game like a Modern Warfare 3 that they can play again and again and again, and put literally hundreds of hours into this game that they've invested. And then once they're done with that, they purchase this game for $60. They want to get the most equity out of that game as possible, and they're going to list it on our site because we're going to be able to provide them the most equity than anywhere else they're going to be able to get.
Shall we kick over to Mark?
Yes, thank you. What are your margins?
Right now, what we're doing is we make money in microtransactions, where essentially our service is free to use. So when you have traded a game on our site, let's say it's a $60 game, we've deducted $1 worth of equity, you're going to get 59 points in your account. Let's say you want to purchase another game, let's say another 60-point game. Well, you're going to need at least some points in your account. You're going to be too shy, so it's not a big deal. You can purchase those points in 5-point increments on our site, and it's essentially 1 point equals $1. So right now we're making some incremental income with our beta test group, but based on 20,000 members, we hope to be able to bring in about $120,000 to $150,000 within our first year, and within 3 years we hope to be at about the $800,000 mark once we have gained a bigger client base.
Okay, Joe, get in there and bat cleanup for us. Better unmute in the room B.
All right, got it. What's your exit strategy?
We would just like to be acquired by a larger company. I mean, I think that the thing with GameStop and Walmart, again, a lot of these, in order for them to compete with us, they'd have to completely change their business plan. I mean, it'd be like eBay getting into the agriculture business. So once they've seen that we've created such a splash, we hope to be acquired by a larger company. Or if we can become big enough, then maybe even an IPO down the road. But I think it's more realistic to acquire a skilled CEO and help us be able to sell this startup.
Fantastic. Okay, are we ready for feedback? Let's hear from Mark.
When you were muted or offline, we were talking about those of us who have kids, and I have a 12 and 15-year-old. I spend a lot of time with the used games. So in terms of value and need, I'd give you a 5. But in terms of the total business as a proposition, and with the projected revenues, if I understood you right, of $800K in 3 years, it's really a low revenue business. From that aspect, I'd probably give you about a 3.5.
3.5.
A probable 3.5.
Okay. And on to Joe.
I really liked the valuation. I thought the $120,000 for a 40% stake in the company showed that you're aggressive, and you plan to make this thing happen. So I'm going to give you a 4.2.
4.2. Great. Emmett. Emmett.
Oh, I did. Did someone call my name? I didn't hear you guys.
Okay, go. I hear you.
Right, I'm going. All right. So, fundamentally, League of Legends is a great example of a game that's free to play. It's the biggest new game, and it is 100% downloadable. And what we're seeing is this market is going away. Yes, it's 70% today. It's the era. It's like the era just before everyone got cell phones. The market penetration was 0, and the market penetration was 100% in 2 years, right? And
this game sold 6.5 million units in 24 hours. This is not going away.
AOL was selling huge amounts of dial-up right before they weren't selling hardly any dial-up at all. And basically, what we're seeing is this. Yes, there's this huge market for this today. By the time you scale this business up, that market will be disappearing from out underneath your feet. I just don't believe that's a good idea. It's sort of entering into a market that is actively disappearing. So I give it I got to give it a 2.0.
Okay, so we got two very different opinions, and I like to see it get a little fiery, and maybe it's good that we're not all doing this in the same room, because then we could settle the thing with fisticuffs.
But Eve is going to close it out for us. Go ahead, Eve.
Well, I agree with some of the other comments. I think you're going to have an uphill battle. You have a slow growth model. It's going to make it, I think, hard for you to get investment when there's not going to be a high X return. I agree that, well, first of all, that you have a lot of competition. You got to get a lot of years to make it on microtransactions. I don't know enough to know if there's a there, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a 4.3.
4.3. Okay, thanks very much. That concludes our first heat for today. Judges, please stand by for instructions. We're going to take a 5-minute break from this things when we sign off. I want to make sure that everyone's aware of the People's Choice Award. Get your followers to get onto AgoraStartupIdol.com. Spread the word and tell them to spread the word. If you can get more followers for your company than anybody else, over 20,000, we need tens of thousands of followers. But the company that can do that is going to get a chance to pitch in front of the final 4 judges. So it doesn't matter what our judges say, if you can get that kind of a following to sign on. Also, get them to vote for you. We've got a People's Choice Award, kind of the popularity contest. And the prize for that has not been announced yet, but I expect it'll be something worth your while. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes another exciting heat, and we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Oh. See you then. And then on the air, he said, "Are we off the air yet?" And then started cussing.